Hi, thanks for joining me today. This is Chris, and we are going to be participating in another round of the telephone hop put on by the group of us scrappers from the Secret Not Secret Kid Club. I'm towards the end of the artistic arsenals this round, so if you haven't already, go look in the description box of my video here and it will show you in order everyone that was participating. I'm towards the bottom of the group and I received the layout I showed at the beginning from Christy's Beautiful Life, and I am scraplifting her layout. I'm going to stay pretty true to what Christy had in hers. I really liked the design. It was very clean and simple. So I'm going to use a lot of this Paige Evans and a little bit of Dear Lizzie paper to go ahead and scrap lift her layout. And again, I'm staying pretty true to what Christy used. So I took and trimmed down this pink polka dot paper, and I'm going to mat it on this yellow paper that I did get the center out of so that I can use it for part of my matting for the pictures. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut the strips of paper like Christy had in her layout. I'm using two photos that I had of my daughter back from 1988 when she was about 6 months old or so. She was visiting her grandparents, and these are older pictures that I haven't had a chance to scrapbook left yet. So in Christie's layout, I believe she used more of a pattern paper for her circular element, and she did stitch all of hers down. I'm just going to go ahead and use the doily as my circular element. And instead of stitching, I'm going to go ahead and use this close to my heart distress tool that I've had for years, and I'm going to rough up the edges on all of my pieces of paper, and I am then going to use my black Pilot G2 pen and outline each of them. And that gives it the same definition that Christy had with hers doing the stitching, but without having to drag out an extra machine. So if you're not familiar with what the YouTube hop is, basically it's like the children's game that we played when we were kids. You have one person start out and they start with their layout, and then they pass it to the next person, and then the next person passes theirs on. So the only layout I've seen of the 9 people that are on the artistic arsenal is Christie's. I have no idea what was made prior to hers, and I won't know what Janet Heuser's looks like, who will be scraplifting mine. So it's kind of a neat concept to see, and just to see how it does twists and turns. Now I'm staying pretty true to Christie's, but some people will take it and like twist the layout so it's vertical. Some people will add more mixed media, take mixed media away. You just don't know what you're going to get or how somebody's going to interpret the layout when they go to make theirs. So here I am, I'm just finishing up, and now I'm going to go ahead and adhere these down with my ATG gun, and I'm just going to try and put them in a little bit wonky so that you can just see the different layers of the paper as they're put down. So for this one, I'm going to go pretty much center. This is the Dear Lizzie paper. This is the pink or Paige Evans paper, and I'm going to bring it off more into that framed border. And then I'm taking a little bit of the yellow that was from that same yellow paper that I gutted out, and I'm going to use that going more to the left. Now here is where I'm going to adhere the doily down, and then I'm going to mat my photos onto a little bit of this white tissue paper, and then from there I'm going to go ahead and mat it on some of the leftover papers that I used for my layers. I'll use the back side of one of the Paige Evans, which is a horizontal stripe, and then I'll use the little floral again just to have it stand up against the white. Now on this diagonal paper, I'm really trying to stay with the purple, the yellow, the white colors, because I don't want to introduce a lot of different, like that blue is just a little bit different than the Dear Lizzie. And I want to kind of stick to that pink yellow tones. And then I'll grab the floral paper as well. Now the photos I cut down before I started the video to 3x4 size, just to kind of keep them a little bit smaller. There was some background that wasn't necessary in the photos. And then again, it kind of stuck to what Christy had with her layout. And here's that, I love that floral paper from Paige Evans. It is just so pretty. So I'm just going to have that little bit pop off. Now because I'm using it as a strip underneath, I'm going to have that photo go to the right so it's off the white and not off of that floor. You know, it won't blend into the floral paper that's in the stripes. There we go. So those are both adhered down. Now I'm going to go into my thickers, and I'm grabbing this thicker set that's almost used up, and I'm going to grab the word cute, which is in a very, very thin gold font, which I love. And where Christy had her title kind of curving around her circular element, I'm just going to tuck it in above the photos. And then I'm going into my stash and I'm grabbing two tags. One, I believe, was a pre-made one, and the other, the floral one, is one that I made from scraps. And then I'm just going to use an Avery hole reinforcer that I bought in an office supply store to reinforce the hole of the other one. And I'll just layer those. I thought about using this white with gold edging, but I didn't like how it looked. So I'm just going with the two. I'm going to trim off a little bit from the bottom, adhere them together, and then tuck it in underneath the picture. And it's going to be very simple embellishing. So now I'm going through my little tags and labels, and I'm grabbing this label that has a little bit of a yellow border, and then this piece that was a cut apart, I want to say from like more than likely a Paige Evans or Maggie Holmes cut apart. And I'm just going to tuck these under as well and just use them for a little bit more interest and color, tucking them under. And then I'm going to grab a few of these hearts that were from the that same thicker set where I got the word cute, and I'll sprinkle those around, and I'm spelling out the word Erica with these little tiny gold thickers. The next thing I'm going to do after I put those hearts down, and also grabbing some of the florals that were on that sticker sheet as well, and I'm going to kind of bring that layer, that whole cluster, bringing it up to the right side of the page, and then bring a little bit down, kind of running a diagonal. But after I do that, I'm going to grab the Paige Evans sticker book, and I'm going to go through there and add a few more embellishments using that. Anytime that you're having trouble trying to coordinate, or you just don't feel like really having to think, try and stick with the same designers. They tend to, through their collections, keep the same colors and the same tones and feels. Paige Evans does a lot of floral, a lot of whimsical kind of layout. She uses a lot of the pinks, the mustard yellow. And so when you grab her collections out, you can really do a good job of mixing and matching them. So in Christie's layout, she had a banner up in the upper right hand corner, and I want to pull something up, but my embellishments are running high on the right hand side, so I want to offset that with the left hand side. So in the sticker book, I just find a cluster of flowers, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that at the top. Before I do that, I am grabbing this border strip that has the scallops on it, and I'm going to kind of mimic a little bit of what Christy had with her. She had a whole scallop border, and I'm just using this little tiny piece, the sticker. And here's where I grab the floral cluster, and I'm going to put that at the top. And that just pulls the colors up. And then I'm also going to just scatter some butterflies around. So I'm going to put two on this right-hand side, and then I'll put one up above with the floral cluster that I'm adding right now. And one thing to keep in mind when you're putting your stickers and things on is that if it flies in nature, for example, a butterfly, it doesn't have to touch something else. But if it's something that is stationary, like a flower or a book or a vase, you want it on a shelf. So for an example, this little bird, it's not flying, it's sitting. So I have it sitting on the top of the seat because that's what you would see in nature. You would see the bird that doesn't have its wings spread perched. So that's just to give your layouts a little bit more of a better look when you're scattering the stickers around. Kind of keep that in mind so that you don't have that odd bird that isn't flying up in the air like magic. So again, I'm just kind of finishing off with little bits here and there from the sticker book, just seeing if there's anything extra that I can add. Then the next thing I'm going to grab is a little bit of my pink and white baker's twine that I'm going to add to the holes of the tag. And that's going to be pretty much it for my layout. I'm keeping it very simple. I really like how it turned out. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this layout. Please check out all the videos down below. And if you haven't seen it from the beginning, check out how everyone's turned out. Here's a close-up of my layout. And thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.